Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, students. This is Chigu Alim again. And for today's science video lesson, we are going to look at classification key. So last week, you learned about how animals are classified, how plants are classified, and also how microorganisms are classified. For this video lesson, you're going to learn about how can you classify other things that you can find in the world. So classify here meaning how to arrange the objects or how to arrange the living things according to their characteristics and differences. So you are going to learn how to construct a classification key. So what does a classification key look like? These are examples of classification keys. So on the left, you can find a classification key on invertebrates. So this classification key shows how they are arranged or how they are grouped according to their characteristics. The one in the middle here is a classification key for animals. So you can see they are arranged according to their characteristics. Some of them have fur, some of them have no fur, some of them have dry skin, and so on. And then at the very end here, you can find a classification key for plants. Once you have learned how to make a classification key, then you can use the classification key to identify living organisms, which is the second lesson objective for this video lesson. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let's start the actual lesson. A classification key shows how organisms are grouped according to their common characteristics. It allows us to look up information easily and can be used to identify individual organisms or group of organisms. So a classification key allows us to easily arrange the organisms in their specific group according to their characteristics. To make a classification key, we need to identify similarities and differences between organisms. So, kalau kamu akan buat classification key, kamu mesti tahu apa persamaan dan perbezaan organisme yang ada. The following is an example of how students in a class can be classified. So let's see, if you have students in the class, you can also use a classification key to categorize them or to arrange them into groups. So let's have a look at this. The picture here, you can see these are a group of students in a class, and we want to arrange them into a group, or we want to make a classification key for this group of students. So step one, identify one main difference to divide the group into two. So how can you divide them? You can divide them according to male and female, according to their gender. Step number two, once you have divided them into two main groups, you can then divide them further into two more subgroups. Okay, so two more smaller groups than the bigger group. So you have male and female, then you can divide them into according to the characteristics. So you can have males that have double eyelids, and then you have males that have single eyelids, and then you have female that have double eyelids, and female with single eyelids. So you can divide them into two more further groups in the main group. Step number three, you continue to identify differences that can split each small group into two until every group is left with one member. So can we divide the groups even further? What other differences can you identify, or apa perbezaan yang kamu dapat nampak arah students yang ada di dalam kelas ane? So you can notice that some of them are wearing glasses and some of them are not wearing glasses. So in this picture, you can further divide them into whether they are wearing glasses or not. So some of the male students, those that with double eyelids, some of them wear glasses, some of them do not wear glasses, and so on. And then finally, step four, draw up the key according to your classification. So you put the students where they belong. So for example, Ramli, he has double eyelids and he wears glasses, so he belongs in this class or in this group. Uma, she has single eyelids and wear glasses, so she goes into this group. So this is the complete classification key for the pupils in this class. Let's do another example. So here you have these objects, and let's make a classification key for these objects. So what are the similarities and what are the differences of these objects that you can see, that you can notice? Okay, apa perbezaannya dan apa persamaan benda-benda yang ada ditunjukkan arah skrin masa ini. So some of you have noticed that some of the shapes are different. Some of them are cubes, some of them are cylindrical, even the color is different. And some of you also notice the lines or the borders of these shapes have different colors. So you can use those things to create a classification key. So we can arrange these shapes according to their shapes. So the cubes all go on the left side and the cylinders all go on the right side. Then what else can you do? You can then split them further into their colors. So blue cubes or in one group, green cube in one group, blue cylinders in another group, and then green cylinder in one other group. So here we have arranged them according to their shape, cube and cylinder, and according to their color, blue and green. Can we divide them even further according to their characteristic? Yes, we can. So we can split them according to the color of their border. So you have the shapes with the black border and the shapes with the red border. So here is what it looks like now. Finally, what does the classification key for these objects look like? It looks like something like this. Okay, so this is what the complete classification key looks like. Of course, this is not the only classification key that you can make. You can make other different types of classification key. So here we arrange according to their shape first, and then the color, and then the border. You can also arrange it like this. You can arrange it according to the color of the border first, and then the shape, and then finally the color of these shapes. So you can create different classification key according to which characteristics that you want to split up first or that you want to put up first. Let's do another example. Let's say these are the animals that you can find in Samsa. So let's say they belong in Samsa Zoo, and let's draw a classification key for these group of animals. So how do you do that? So some of you, they have similarities. These animals have similarities, and these animals have differences. So you can arrange them to animals that give birth to live young and animals that do not give birth to live young. So the animals that give birth to live young, that is the kangaroo. So artinya give birth to live young, that means the animal yang beranak, yang ada anak, and does not give birth to live young means that this animal does not indah beranak. Maybe ia bertelur ataupun yang lain-lain. Okay, and then the animals that do not give birth to live young, you can further split them up to animals that lay eggs but with hard shell and animals that do not lay eggs with hard shell. So the animal that lay eggs with hard shell, that is the duck. So artinya the duck, talur yang ia keluarkan, ia punya talurnya talur keras. Okay, and the other animals, dorang bertelur tapi telurnya telur yang lembut. And then you can further divide these into two more groups, the animals that have soft skin and do not have soft skin. So frogs have soft skin and they lay eggs but with a soft shell. And further dividing up the group into two more, animals that have shells and animals that do not have shells. So these two are, that's the tortoise and the iguana. Okay, so this is the classification key for the animals in Samsa Zoo. So once you have drawn this classification key, it's very easy for you to identify which animal has which characteristics. For example, let me ask a question. Which animal lay eggs. Okay, so from this classification key, the group that lay eggs is this group here, the group that does not give birth to live young, animal yang indah beranak, in other words. So what are the animals? Which animals are those? So it is the duck, the frog, the tortoise, and the iguana. So those are animals that lay eggs. Let's do another example. So let's say, which animal does not have soft skin? Okay, so all you have to do is you look at this classification key, and which animal do not have soft skin? You have two here, the tortoise and the iguana. So that's how you use a classification key to figure out which animal has which characteristics. Right, so I hope by now you understand or have an idea of how to make a classification key, and also how to use the classification key to identify which organism has which characteristics. So we will stop there for today. Thank you for watching. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.